You can live, you can laugh, you can love. Life with Sujay.
And welcome to Live with Sujay. You're on Ambassador's Way with Sujay, and we're live and in living color. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe, share, like, stay with us.
2.
And welcome to Live with Sujay, and we're all the way live and in living color. I am so excited, ignited, delighted because I'm here with some of my best friends, sister friends, colleagues in business, and we're in one of my favorite places, Sag Harbor, Long Island, New York, the village of Sag Harbor in the town of East Hampton. But beside me today is Tisha Dixon Williams. Who's that lady? Next to her is Dawn Diaz, Milagros Day Worldwide. All right, going global, girl. And Deb Boulanger, the great do-over. Welcome to my backyard. In my neck of the woods, in our neck of the woods. How you doing? How's life treating you? We're certainly in the midst of our several pandemics. There's the race pandemic, there's the COVID, and then there's what we call life. But you overcome that, and you are doing business in the midst of what's going on. Is business booming?
Business is booming. We've had to refocus, we've had to pivot, but business is booming.
So tell me about Who's That Lady? What makes it boom? Who do you target, and what makes it boom?
So Who's That Lady is a women's ministry movement, obviously geared toward women. Our demographic is between about 30 and 50 years old.
Okay.
And it's women who just want to be empowered, inspired, and that's what we do.
Okay.
So trying to continue to do that even in the midst of these traumatic times.
So yours ends when my AARP card comes and mine begins. So we'll talk about that. Because we're also talking about stages and ages and sages and what happens at different times in life. But Dawn Diaz, how is business? Milagros Day Worldwide. I was with you when it was local, but now it's global. Tell us about what you're doing.
Well, so everyone had to pivot during the COVID pandemic, and we also went digital.
Yes.
So our main focus right now is our program called Healing Voices. It's a public speaking course for trauma survivors.
Wow.
And that is going to be the next Vagina Monologues.
Oh, wow.
And
I love it.
Yes, and so we are now digital, and women are signing up for the course, and we're going to be for the next 12 weeks teaching them how to express themselves beyond trauma.
So what's the mission of Milagros Day Worldwide?
Milagros Day Worldwide empowers survivors of trauma and abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse, all stages of life, all types of trauma, including social and cultural trauma as well.
Exactly. And we're going to come back to that because we're all traumatic, right? And post-traumatic, or whatever stage we are.
Yes.
And Deb Boulanger, tell us what the great do-over is all about. And is business booming?
Business is booming. The Great Do-Over is all about reinvention, and this season in our lifetimes right now has prompted all of us to reinvent in one way or another in how we show up.
So women come from corporate America, and then they want to reinvent themselves, and that's where they come to you?
Yes, I have the Launch Lab for Women Entrepreneurs, and I help women who are making that leap from corporate find their mission, vision, values, and package that, price that, and serve a community while they're also serving themselves, earning a wonderful living, and giving back to their community.
So you were once in corporate America as well.
Absolutely.
So what's the transition been like for you? Now you're a total entrepreneur. You're not working for someone. You're helping others work for themselves, correct?
Exactly. So it's been 8 years since I took the leap, and truthfully, I've never looked back.
And how does it feel?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing to be able to generate income, to generate impact, just by waking up in the morning and deciding what to do. And
That's
so
awesome.
there's the reason why women become entrepreneurs is because they want to make more impact through their work. They want to break through the glass ceiling. It's your ticket to the C-suite. No one's holding you back, honey.
Yes, exactly.
And have more freedom.
So there doesn't even have to be a ceiling anymore. That's
There is
what
no
it really-
ceiling.
So
That's why we're out here in the
Right,
sky.
Yes, exactly. So we have just launched the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce. It's the first chamber of commerce solely dedicated to black women business owners. So people who are owning their businesses or who want to, aspiring to. So what would you tell someone starting a business? What would be the first steps post-COVID? 3 steps. If you're going to start a business or if you have a business now, 3 steps you need to know.
Be fearless,
Okay, fearless,
be creative,
creative.
and be authentic.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
What would you say, Dawn?
I'll tell them, don't make the mistakes that I made, right? To be able to fast track yourself, gravitate to those who are already successful. Learn what they're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Okay. So sometimes we fail our ways to success.
Absolutely.
But you're saying if you can avoid some of the failing places,
Absolutely.
go for it.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you say, Deb? What are 3 things women need to know starting today?
3 things to know are: find a problem that needs a solution. People buy problems.
Say that one more time. Find a problem.
Find a problem that needs a solution.
That needs
People
a
don't
solution.
buy unless it solves a problem. Stand out in a crowded market. So find an angle, find a hook, find a unique purpose that makes you stand out. And number 3 is be seen and heard. You can't be our best kept secret and make an impact through your work.
I love that. So I've been working with what I call the D-SMOG principles. You have to digitize, energize, strategize, monetize, organize, globalize, and glamorize. So you got to look the part. So you guys look the part today. You look glamorous. So what is a slogan, a mantra that you live by? What needs to happen in your life for it to always flow and go?
One of my mantras is feel the fear and do it anyway.
Say it one more time.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Okay.
Most of the things that I do are huge leaps, and most people say, but you're never scared. I'm scared all the time. I just do it with the fear.
Right.
It's the fear that motivates me. I've never allowed fear to paralyze me.
Okay.
I've always allowed it to propel me forward. So for me, it's feel the fear and do it anyway.
Because you know you have some things already in place anyway. You wouldn't leap out there if you hadn't done your homework and your due
Absolutely,
diligence.
right.
What do you live by, Dawn?
Happiness is a choice, and choose it every day. You got it even 35,000 times a day.
Yes. Yes.
So it's just your choice. No matter what's happening around you, find something to ground you, find something to appreciate, find something to be grateful for, and choose that happiness.
Wonderful. Deb, what do you live by?
The motto I live by is similar to Tisha's. It's release fear, think clear, and get into gear.
I love
Oh,
Ah,
all right.
yes.
You heard it first on Live with Sujay. So now this is being brought to you by Women on the World stage, and all of us have experienced each other. Used to be pro voice, and we used to say "Baya chica," which means "you go, girl." When did you know that you had it going on? When was your Baya chica moment?
April 15, 2018, when I was elected the pastor of the First Baptist Church of Bridgehampton. I know we're talking business today.
No, that's
but
your business.
that was a big moment for me. I still don't know that I have it going on, but I will say I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm
And
getting
what
there.
made that such a pivotal moment for you?
It was a pivotal moment because it was a moment in history. It was a historic election with me being elected the first woman pastor in the then 94-year history of the church. It was a bold faith move on behalf of the congregation.
Yes, yes.
And
I wrote a
now-
reference letter.
yes, you did, and preached my installation
Yes.
for sure. But
So-
the great thing was just being in that moment of history that forever no one can take that away from me. That in that one moment I
That's
became
right.
a trailblazer, like the
That's
ambassador.
right. That's right. We're gonna get ready to go to break, but tell us, what was your Baya Chica moment?
Well, it had to be when the first time I was paid a substantial fee to speak,
Yes.
and it was at the National Association of Hispanic Nurses.
Yes.
And so I was their keynote speaker, and they flew me out to California. And so it actually showed me that my message was important and that all walks of life could benefit from it.
And you bounced all the way to the bank. I know that's right. When you open that check, come on now. Okay, Devin, what was your Baya Chica moment? You go, girl.
I've had so many,
But-
but the most recent one was launching the Life After Corporate podcast and actually having someone seek me out on LinkedIn, find the Facebook group, come to a training, and become a client. And she
Wow.
said, they say, I've been listening to your podcast, I write everything down, and I binge listen. I think that was like, wow,
All right. Well, we hope that you're binging on this show because we are so excited. We want you to know that you have a Baya Chica moment as well. And we want you to go for everything that you've got going on inside of you. Dreams do not have an expiration date. But we do have a date right now with a pause. We have to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Live with Sujay.
Hi, thanks for joining me. You know, one of the books that's really been helpful to a lot of people, I've been getting letters in and emails in, it's called Balancing Your Life, God's Hope for a Plan and a Future, with a foreword by Bishop T.D. Jakes. We did this when I was on tour with him, and it helps us to keep our life in perspective, that we have to be like a car. We're having all four of our wheels rotated. We are mind, body, spirit, and soul. And I want you to be together not only during this pandemic, but after, throughout your life. So this is Balancing Your Life. Hope you'll get it. You can get it on Amazon or anywhere where books are sold.
Hi, you're back with Live with Sujay, and we're talking stages, sages, and ages, a diverse group of my sister friends, some from the city, some from the burbs. Some of us are now from both. We're city and the country. But we are so excited that you've joined us from wherever you are. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share this show. This is coming to you from Women on the World Stage. Wow. And we're so glad to have you with us. We were talking about your Baya Chica moments, and I think for me, I've had one at different seasons of my life. I remember walking down the aisle with 2,500 people at Riverside Church getting married. That was a Baya Chica moment. But having birthed 2 children, for me, when my sons were born, and my mother was there. So my mother was with me as I became a mother, and it was like one of the best moments of my life. And so I don't have her any longer, but I have the memory. And for me, that will always stick with me. So those were my moments. So we were talking, we're different stages and certainly different ages. What's the one thing about going into a 4th decade of life that changed from your 3rd decade of life? Your body, your experiences?
All of that changed, but at my mindset.
Okay, talk to us about that. What changed?
I think in my 30s, I was still unsure. And I think in my 40s, I made a conscious decision to become very self-aware. That to be my authentic self and make a decision to show up that way every day. And that if people couldn't handle my shine, they were just going to have to wear shades. That's what changed for me.
Say that one more time. If people can't handle your shine.
If people can't handle my shine, they're just going to have to wear shades. That's what people think of me is none of my business.
Ooh.
That changed. That was a huge change for me.
Wow.
As I entered my 40s.
Okay, anybody want to talk about going from the 40s to the 50s? What's the 5th decade of life like?
Sure, yeah. Well, I think for me in the 50s, it's about not having to prove anything to anybody.
Yes.
It's about this is who I am and not having to compete and just really being happy with where I am.
Yeah,
so.
that's good. And then going from the 50s to another decade, Deb, can you and I talk about that?
Busting me. You're busting my cover.
I know, I'm busting my cover too, but what's it like?
I think it's about completely living with purpose and making an impact. And there's this acute awareness that this really long runway is getting shorter.
Yes.
And so there's a sense of urgency, and there's no room for fear or doubt or indecision. You just have to keep going.
Yeah, even the organizations that I build, like this is the last one I'm building, because for me it's about legacy now, because everything behind me we were doing to get to this point, even trailblazing. We're blazing the trail so there could be another trailblazer. But so now it's about legacy, and like you said, the runway is shorter now. You know, we know there are more years behind us than in front of us. But I think for me the biggest thing is the body changes. You know, my mind says I'm 40, you know, and I'm a walker and I'm a swimmer, and that's why I have a pool wherever I go. But getting out of these Ubers and Lyfts and cars, my mind says, jump out, girl. My body says, one leg at a time, baby. And it's so funny. So have you seen changes physiologically?
Yes. But here's the interesting thing. I am more happy with my body now than I think I've ever been.
Wonderful.
I feel, if we could say that,
Yes.
more sensual, more mature.
Say it a little louder.
Yeah. I feel more sensual, more mature. I feel more attractive now than I ever have in my whole life.
Wow.
But I think that comes with maturity.
Yes.
And again, going back to just accepting who you are, flaws and all.
Yes.
So it's so interesting. I really am more happy with myself physically than I ever have been in my whole
That's
life.
awesome. What about you, Dawn?
It's kind of similar, and I want to bring it to the experience that we just had with COVID. You know,
Yes.
being home. A lot of people said, "Oh, we're gaining the COVID-19, the 19 pounds, right?" And for me, I didn't care. I was like, I don't care if I gain, and actually, I didn't gain anything
Yes.
because I was just satisfied with me.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and that I think is what comes with being 50.
Okay. What are you satisfied with, or what's
Well, that
happened?
is such a loaded question.
I know.
I was going to say, that's not fair after the COVID-19. But I think I'm satisfied with my body. Of course, I'd like to be fitter. I'd like to be slimmer. I'd like to get my 50-year-old body back, actually. But I think the thing that bothers me the most is that I'm so energetic and I have so much that I want to do. And I peter out earlier than I used to.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I allow myself the rest, the time to release and rest.
Well, we say rest is important for restoration, and those who know me know that self-care is a big part of my whole life and ministry. We're coming to you from WOW, which stands for Women on the World Stage, and we do an annual self-care retreat. 4 days or 5 days away. We call it Selah by the sea. So we go by the beach. So self-care is so important to me. Rest is important for restoration. Recreation means recreation, that you may be recreated, all that you have poured out. What's one self-care? I know we do several. What's one self-care tip that works for you?
The self-care tip that works for me is to live a life where you don't have to have self-care. What do I mean when I say that? It's to be so proactive in your life that self-care becomes a luxury and not a necessity. That you don't live a life where you're constantly spinning your wheels.
Right.
So that self-care, a massage should not be a necessity, it should be a luxury.
Yes.
But we work ourselves to the point where self-care becomes, by the time you need self-care, it's almost too late.
Yeah, you're in knots.
Exactly.
The
It's
masseuse
almost
is
too
like,
late. And self-care is so
Ooh.
much more than massages or physical. Self-care is financial responsibility,
Yes.
being financially savvy. It's praying. It's being spiritually savvy. So for me, trying to be proactive with my life where I can enjoy what most people call self-care. And it's not a 3-alarm fire when I have to run into
exactly.
a spa.
Exactly. And my book, Balancing Your Life, God's Plan for Your Hope and Future, is one of the books you'll see at the end of the show. It's the forewords by Bishop T.D. Jakes. But because there were so many of the trailblazing women who started with me who are no longer here, that I'm passionate about self-care. What's something you do for self-care?
For me, I think self-care, the most important thing about it is how you talk to yourself.
Okay,
The
yes.
things that you say to yourself, right? How not judging yourself.
Yes.
Not putting so much pressure on yourself. Just really not letting yourself be where you are.
Yes.
And accepting that and just being your biggest own fan.
Not playing those negative tapes, but rewinding, saying, self, you're good. Vaya, chica. Yes. And what's a self-care tip for you?
Yeah,
You two met on one of my retreats.
Absolutely.
Yes,
That was an
yes,
amazing
it's phenomenal.
experience and birth of a new friendship
Yes.
and relationship. For me, very much like Dawn, it's like keeping the mental house clean.
Yes.
And for me, it's journaling, it's meditation, it's prayer every morning, and really starting with those things first thing in the day. And that makes all the difference.
It does. Well, what part of my self-care is being with great friends, great sister friends like you. I thank you for being on the show. I hope that you'll continue to be in my life, that you'll come to the Wild Retreats and come with us. We go to the beach, La Playa, baby. And I hope that you'll also stay in touch with us. You can send an email to us at womenontheworldstage@gmail.com. We have Givelify, Women on the World Stage, or WOW, is a W.O.W. You can give to us to help with women's initiatives. Not every woman gets to do self-care, so we want to help everyone get to the place where their mind, body, and spirit is flowing as one. So we hope that you'll join us and stay with us. Thank you for joining us for Live with Sujay. Thank you, WOW, Women on the World Stage. Thank you, Tisha,
Thank
Dawn,
you.
Deb. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless you until we meet again. And a shout out to my wonderful crew. All right, AB Solutions. All right.